legs.
With the fixture pile up. You want.
But what the fixture pile up is the fixture pile up. It's not. It hasn't changed.
But you would have thought
it is what it is.
Yeah, but I know.
Who's this Ralph Rangnick geezer?
Oh, why are you
coming
digging him
in?
out? Why are you digging him
Who's
out?
he?
Why are you digging him
Been
out?
here 2 minutes.
Who
All
is
of a
he?
sudden, he's dictating what's going on and what we should do over here.
Who is he? Who is he?
Get back in his box.
Who is he? Who is he? Who?
Is he an interim?
Redneck? Who's red? Who?
Interim manager telling us how he's saying that the Carabao Cup is not even worthy.
He's up on our monitor actually as we speak. I feel
got a lot to say for himself, hasn't he?
Well, yes, but he was probably asked a question, and we don't get the question. All we get is the reply, and it's like, what's he talking about? Why is he getting his nose in? But yes, there has a bit of humility. He wouldn't have gone too far, I don't think. Just it's not his.
He's just got here. And he's dismissing the Carabao Cup, saying, why, we're the only country that have 2 cup games.
He's poo-pooing it. He's pooed the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, but they're already out of it, and he's talking about it. Talking about fixture pile up. I want to talk about fixture pile up because I want to get your calls in on this because it's becoming a bit of an issue, isn't it, Cundy?
Mm-hmm.
Bit of an issue with people. They're not happy. The players have come out and said that they're not happy with the amount of games they're having to put their bodies through. Jurgen Klopp has been very sort of open and honest about how he feels about it. What's your take?
I've said this since COVID has appeared on our doorstep. Nothing about COVID is fair. Nothing. Football, life, business, families, everything. Nothing about COVID is fair. And at times you've got to kind of get on and deal and cope with the hand that you've been dealt with, unfortunately. And no one has been dealt a great hand. There's no one very few people have come out of this situation over the last 18 months, or certainly 20, 24 months. There's been a lot of people and a lot of companies, a lot of families, individually, collectively, that have struggled with this. And football is another one of those bodies. But there is definitely something in it. I think that I do feel as though that footballers are right now just being churned out. And if this was a racehorse, a top draw racehorse, you would not ask a racehorse to race in a grade A race 2 days out of 3.
No.
You simply wouldn't do it. The owner would have too much respect and too much to lose for fear of doing the horse some serious damage. But then people say they're paid enough money.
Well, it's tradition. That's what people say. The argument is tradition. So what's your take on that in terms of tradition? You play on the 26th, you play on the 28th.
Jay, I've done it. You and I have done it.
I know.
I've done that. I've done the Boxing Day. I've done the 1 day off and played the next. I've done it. There's not a professional footballer that's played in England that probably hasn't done it. We've all done it.
Yeah.
And you train on Christmas Day. I deal with all that. It's fine. But when you've got COVID, when your squad becomes limited, when you are now dealing with something very, very different, the rules change. And the conversation has got to be different. The conversation has got to change. And I don't feel the conversation right now is changing. I think the managers that are standing up for the safety and the well-being of their players have every single right to do it. Genuinely do. This is not whinging. This is not moaning. No. This is about an athlete's... You wouldn't ask Usain Bolt to race 2 races out of 3 days in a 100-metre sprint in the world for not Olympics, but where he's expected to win both of those. You wouldn't ask him.
He does do that, doesn't he? He does the 200-metre and then he does the 100-metre next day.
Does it the next day?
Yeah. It's
bad. But how often do they play? I'm using an example of how often do you get professional athletes of the highest level that you ask them to go out?
We don't ask a boxer to fight, do you? 10 rounds and then 2 days later.
We should use boxer.
But
you say, but he slows up after the last one, doesn't he?
Well, it's easy for him. But sprinter's different because they're running for 9 seconds, right? And then 8 seconds. Okay,
marathon runners.
Yeah, marathon
runners. Would you ask them to run 2 marathons and then 2?
Well, a lot of them do that.
2 days?
Seven marathons
2 days?
7 days.
2 days? What, and expect to perform?
Yeah.
800 metres. How far?
You haven't thought this through, have you?
How far down can I go?
I haven't really thought this through, have you?
Darts. Where do you expect a darts player... But you know the point I'm making.
I know the point you're making. And look, we've been there. We've been footballers. We understand what it's like. You do not recover when you're playing at full tilt, especially now in this day and age in terms of the fitness and the levels that you got to be at in the Premier League. No. To ask a player to play 2 days after, from the 26th to playing the 28th.
A sprinter, 100 metres? No.
It's not. I'm with Klopp. I know he always moans about the fixture congestion, and I know people like to say it's a tradition, and I understand. Why can't you just play on the 29th? Have a full fixture list on the 26th and play on the 29th. Why don't they do that?
Well, there is tradition in this country, and that we absolutely love. We love our Boxing Day football. We love the fact that there are so many fixtures that we can gorge on football. We can sit here in these studios, in the lovely air-conditioned studios, I hasten to add, and watching all the monitors that we've got and all the people working around us, and we can watch at our leisure about these players playing game in, game out, day in, day out. But, we sit here and just do it from here. They've got to go out and perform, and if they don't perform, we sit here and criticise.
Yeah.
Or we pick holes. We look at the manager about what he could have done differently, about why he's not picked that player. Right now, I don't know how any football, every football club right now, professional football club, day to day, where they're functioning, you must be looking at what have we got, how can we move forward, what can we think about the next game, how do we pick a team for that game? And then you move forward again. It's a very different world right now.
All right. Do you agree with me and Jason Cundy, or do you think the players are not being respective of what the traditions are in English football? And do you think they're right? Give us a call 03717 223344 as well, Jace. It's coming up to Christmas, and then next couple of days. You got any Christmas stories, Boxing Day stories? I tell you what, I've got one. I hated I always played bad Boxing Day.
Oh, mate.
Always played bad Boxing Day. I remember Christmas Day, I didn't mind training in the morning. I got that, being a professional, getting paid a lot of money. I loved it. Didn't mind that. But when you had to stay in a hotel Christmas night, and I remember we played, I was at Wolves at the time, and we played Sheffield United away on Boxing Day. So I drove all the way to London to see the family after training, and then I drove all the way back on Christmas Day night to go to a hotel in Sheffield. Snowing. I picked up Kevin Foley on the way, picked him up.
The Foalmeister?
Yeah, the Foalmeister.
Right.
Driving up the motorway, get a flat tyre.
Oh. Really?
Flat tyre on the side of the motorway, flat, dead. I have no idea how to change a tyre.
No, who does?
No one.
No one changes tyres these days. And don't sit there listening, saying, I know, because no, you don't. No one changes tyres anymore.
So Christmas Day, I'm sat on the side of the road. Me, Kevin Foley's having to get the pumping up my tyre, and we're doing it. I would turn up late, so I got fined because I turned up late. And I got there at like 9:30 on Christmas Day. Sleep, get up, play Boxing Day, got pumped. It's a shocker, isn't it?
It is a shocker, mate.
No one likes them. You must have some.
No, I feel your pain. Well, I had a few, by the way. One of my worst performances of my career happened on Boxing Day.
Every week.
Yeah, but this week was especially bad. So we played, I think it was Boxing Day, we played Birmingham City at home, right? And on Christmas Day, I had a very small glass of champagne. That's all I had. All day.
Sure.
Promise. My dad, I couldn't drink in front of my mum and dad. There's no way I'd do it anyway, but just a small glass. So I drove up. I was living in London. Drove up to Ipswich the next day. Played Birmingham, and Peter and Love twisted me inside out. My body like a corkscrew at the end of it. He loved to step over and Love, right? He absolutely tore me all over the park. And we only got beat 1-0. But guess who scored the goal? Me.
No. Did you?
It was an own goal. It bounced off my shins, honestly. And if Peter and Love is listening now, I don't know how much sleep you got. I went to bed early. I done my diet, had no drink, nothing. The next day, I couldn't run, couldn't breathe. And it looked like I'd had about 4 roast dinners and about 3 bottles of champagne, which was not the case, I promise you. But Peter and Love gave me twisted blood, honestly.